We are live.
Hi there. This is Tamara Carroll, and I'm so happy to be here with you this evening. Unfortunately, my first guest for our show tonight is unavailable today. However, we're still going to just have a time to hang out together, to visit, maybe share some stories. And I want to invite you to put any comments that you have on the comments in the chat, and let's just hang out and see where this takes us this evening. So, hi, Be Humble. That's a great name. I love that. The name of my show tonight is called Life with Lipedema, Loved, Valued, and Treasured. Like many of us, we go through life with a stigma as we start experiencing people bullying us or telling us that we just need to lose weight, and trying on clothes and clothes don't fit, and going into restaurants and that humiliating feeling of not being able to fit in the booth, and then you have to move. That just always is like one of my biggest fear. When I walk into a restaurant, I kind of scope around and see how close are the tables to the seats. And there's nothing like having to ask for somebody to move you. And I remember one time when my son was younger, we were at an amusement park, and those bars that come down, and we were getting ready to go on a roller coaster, and I couldn't get the bar to come down. And it was so humiliating to me. And so I, like you, probably had lots of those kind of incidents happen before I started learning about lipedema. And oh gosh, that's such a bad thing. It's such a bad feeling when you get stuck in the table. Thank you for sharing that. It makes me know I'm not alone in that. So as I was learning about lipedema, one of my very good girlfriends had said to me, I think I might have lipedema. And I said, what is that? And so I started looking into it. She explained a little bit to me, and I started looking into it, and everything started falling into place. And I could look back like into my preteen, puberty years, and realize that I had a big bottom. I'm almost 65. And so I grew up in the 70s. And I remember the girls all looking like Twiggy. I don't know if you remember those times, but it was all the girls were super skinny, and that was the goal. And so as I was going through high school, they were wearing these really cute pants called dittos. And I wanted to wear dittos so bad. I wanted to be able to fit in. However, the clothing wouldn't fit my body because I had my big thighs and I had my big bottom, but I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't get it off. Do you know that I'm going to tell you a little side story about how the world was then, even, and how much it's changed since then to now in accepting people who are a little heavier. When I was in high school, I was on like a drill team. It was called a banner team with the band, and I had to weigh in every Friday. And if I didn't make weigh-ins, I had to sit in the stands in my day uniform. And that was a just a horrific thought. I mean, in high school. And so I never ever didn't make weigh-ins. And thank goodness those have all changed now. They don't do that to girls anymore. But I remember doing all of the things, sitting in the shower with sweats on, and trying to sweat it out of my body. And then, yes, I see you, Nancy, and thank you for sharing that. Um, anyway, the sweating, the running, thank goodness I didn't know anything about anorexia at that time, but thank goodness that things have changed and they allow girls all sizes in all of the spirit groups now at school without those horrendous weigh-ins. So kind of fast forward as we go into, preteens, 20s, 30s, 40s. I'm really dating myself. And thinking about, there's times that I did shakes and bars, and I even went to Cancun on an all expense paid trip with my husband that I earned. And I had to eat shakes and bars on this program. It was a medically supervised program to try to lose the weight. And, I lost 70 pounds, but it all came back in crazy places when I started eating normally again. And that was devastating. And, even when I lost the weight, I've shared this story once before, like many of you, I could lose the weight, but I had this one gal say to me, you still have a really big bottom. I think she used a different word, but I was mortified. Here I was trying to feel confident, and it just was just such a bad situation and very deflating. So as it came into my 30s, and I remember being pregnant and thinking, this is the only time that I feel beautiful, because being heavier was accepted and they expected it and you glowed. And so I just kept really struggling, like many of you. So fast forward into 40s, 50s, 60s. And I wish that I would have known, I wish I would have had this information that Lipedema Simplified offers way back then. And I feel like maybe I could have managed it a little better. Maybe before I got to stage 3, I could have recognized it. But this is where I am. I'm 64 years old, turning 65 in December, and I'm learning and I'm getting information and I'm researching. And it was Siobhan Higgins. She had a video. I was looking on YouTube and just soaking in everything I could find about lipedema and learning that it wasn't my fault. But the thing that hit me was what on her video, she was sharing about a blood pressure cuff that hurt. And that was a telltale sign. And I never knew that. I always thought everybody had pain when they had their blood pressure taken. And so that was like my big aha moment. And I started following Catherine and Lipedema Simplified and attended the conference in April. So that was so much information, so much information. I can't begin to tell you. If you have not looked into the conference, the Heart to Heart conference is coming up in September. I know we'll put the link to it in the chat here in just a few minutes, but please do not miss out. That is just such an incredible wealth of information. I mean, I believe it's like 147 now. It's online. You can come in your pajamas and just really soak into the relationship building, the expert teachers, the just being with women who have been there, who are going through what you're going through, and they have an understanding. And the doctors are from all over the world. So you are not going to be able to find this kind of information for a 3-day conference for $147. Do everything you can to get in on that. It's well over that. So as I was contemplating and thinking about taking our dear friend Gail's spot, and she she had mentioned that there would be an opening. I'm going to stop here and read this. Becky says, I always had a big bottom and thighs. My sister was skinny and she ate more than me. That's my life. That's totally my life. My mom and dad always, whoops, it went away. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's great to feel like I get you, girl. People can sure try to destroy our self-worth, but we're worth more than that. Amen. I totally agree with that. Thank you for sharing. And I know there was a gal back there a little while ago that's trying to get a diagnosis for lipedema. And so before I forget, I wanted to be sure and mention, go to the Lipedema Project and see if you can find a doctor in the directory that's near you. And I think that will be helpful, but I'm happy to talk to you about that later on if you would like. So the name of my show is Life with Lipedema, Loved, Valued, Treasured. And when we think of those words, it kind of evokes emotion. It does for me. I remember a time when I was, it's about 2009, 2010, maybe somewhere in there. I was at a conference and they were talking about God's heart for you. And as I was reading through this little book, my faith doesn't have to be your faith, by the way. I just throw that out there. But look what I did. I wasn't feeling very valued at that time. And I actually had a necklace made and it says valued. So I really believe in these kind of things of feeling valued, feeling loved, and feeling treasured. Oh, and by the way, my hands tremble. I have a nervous tremor, so I'm not super nervous. I just shake really hard. Good part is if I am nervous, you don't know. So as I was thinking through, what the title would be, I always like to sign my letters, you are loved, you are valued, and you are treasured. So I started thinking to myself as I was stepping into the big giant shoes of our beautiful friend Gail, how could I bring that to the table for women? And I was thinking about a name, beautifully curved. And I was thinking about how can we love our bodies? How can we value our bodies? And how can we feel treasured right where we are with all of our bumps and our curves, beautiful curves, and our bobbles? And so you'll hear me referring to that several times. I don't like bulges. It just sounds yuck. And I want to love my body. So no bulges. It's not allowed on this live stream. We call them bobbles because that's just blingy, girls. And if we can love our curves and our bumps and our bobbles and really appreciate who we are, that's my goal for this show going forward. I'm going to have different guests coming in and talking and sharing about how can we really value who we are. We have a lot of hats that we wear as women, and we could be moms or grandmas or working, and whatever your passion is, whatever makes you cry, I like to say. So we wear a lot of hats, but being able to value ourselves. And people will say, oh, you're just so beautiful on the inside. And why can't we just be beautiful all together, right? We can be beautiful with our beautiful, beautiful curves. And so in one section, we'll be talking about valuing our life and valuing our lifestyle and valuing our bodies. And what can we do and what does that look like? And just how do we feel valuable, outside of all the jobs that we do? because it's wonderful, all those things that we do for other people. But what do we do to value ourselves and see ourselves as valuable? And then the next one, I did it kind of out of order because value is a big word for me. How about loved? Do you feel loved just as you are? And are the people around you loving towards you? Are you surrounding yourself with positive people? Are you surrounding yourself with people who can be a truth teller in love? Sometimes people share things with us that they think is helpful. Should you be eating that? Things like that. I would never say that to one of my friends. Or, what diet are you on now? Or, if only you'd lose some weight, you could, ... So you want to make sure that the people that you're with are loving you in right ways, that are loving you for who you are, who are loving you right where you are, so that you don't have to do the ... But then you also come back to, how do I love myself? Who am I? I'm a whole person, body, soul, and spirit. So I want to be able to help women to embrace and love yourself, because when we can love ourselves, we can love other people at a much higher level. And then we have treasured. I just love that word. I think about my grandmother's teacups, and they may not be worth a lot of money, but I treasure them because my grandmother used them, and my grandmother was a treasure to me. And so I have them hanging on my wall. And as I think about being treasured, it evokes that kind of emotion, doesn't it? And you think about things that you treasure and people that you treasure. But how do we see ourselves as a treasure, as a beautiful gem? And so we are going to be just pressing in, having those deeper conversations, asking questions, and finding solutions together so that we can see ourselves as loved, valued, and treasured. I have about 10 minutes before time to sign off, and I know that there were a couple of questions that were coming up, and if there's anybody who has something that they want to ask, I'll see if I can answer. It says, how do you love the wiggle in your body because of this disease? It makes me so self-conscious. Oh, I get it, big time. But when I found out I had a name, and let's see, Julie, my dear friend, she says, Nancy, look forward, not down. Love her, embrace her. She is you. Exactly. And, when I first found out that I had lipedema, I thought to myself, okay, it has a name, but my body has taken me through this life. My legs have held me up, my arms with all the wiggle and jiggle. They've done well for me. And so we just have to learn to appreciate and value our body for what she has done for us. Some parts of me make me feel like, well, we're not even going to say those words. You got to be careful with your words because your mind believes what your words say. So start practicing, Nancy, on saying, well, let me give you an example. Last week, I was getting ready to do the live stream with Gail. And I was in the bathroom getting ready, and I started to say, well, this is the best it's going to get. And then I caught myself, because you got to shift your mind. You got to think differently. So I caught myself And I said, no, you actually look really good. I think what I said was, you look really pretty. And you got to say those words out loud so your mind starts to believe what is true. So please don't call yourself names. You are so loved and you're so valued and you're treasured. So see yourself and practice saying those things. Just recently, yesterday, we were down at the park for my husband's birthday. And we live out near a river, and it was really pretty. We went out there to sit and enjoy. And I had somebody take a picture of us, some random young girl, and she took a picture of us. And later on, when I saw the pictures, I kind of sighed because I'm at my heaviest. And I sighed and I looked at her and I said, I looked at my picture on my phone and I said, in my mind, I said, wow, I gained so much weight. And then I had to shift it. It's a constant, even with people like me who love to teach on this, it's still a battle. And so I had to shift my mind and say, no, I look beautiful. I look beautiful. And I have to say those words out loud. And I was sharing with Gail last week too that I found another fold, those folds in my thigh. And I could have got really down on myself, but I didn't. That was my win, when I didn't get down on myself. And I said, well, I got another love dimple. Yes, so let's practice that positive self-talk. Exactly. Yeah, just thank you. I agree. Be humble. Yes, we do need to speak truth to the lies. And our minds believe what we say. If we say it over and over again, that I don't even want to say the words out loud. You just got to really take your thoughts captive and be able to speak truth. Now, here's another little trick. You guys may have heard about affirmations. Affirmations are a great thing to do, especially when you're just starting to practice positive self-talk to your body and to your mind. So you could get some little index cards and write out positive words. I am beautiful. I am lovely. Whatever those kind of words that come to you that you want to be, those words that make you cry, that you think, I want that. Well, you can be that. You are that. You just got to get your mind to believe it. And so start walking that out and put the Post-it notes or index cards. Sometimes I would put them like on a 3-ring bind or like those little ring things on a binder, but like a ring. And then you'd put the cards on the ring and leave them in your purse. And when you get out at the store, flip one of them and say it out loud. I mean, you're in the car. People are just going to think you're singing, and who cares what they think anyway. But get up in the morning, put a Post-it note on your window. I am beautiful. I am loved. I am treasured. My body is beautiful. It's taken me through my life, and we are good together. And I look beautiful in these pants. And I'm super excited. Don't let me forget to tell you about my guest speaker next week, because I think it's going to address some of your questions about what do I wear for my body type. That's a good one. But I just started wearing colorful clothes again. I had been wearing kind of dowdy clothes, trying to wear the black to look slimmer. And I thought to myself, even in that experience that we had at the park yesterday, I thought to myself, why does heavy mean not attractive? Because somewhere that's where my mind went. Maybe it was all the conditioning or what I believed or what society told me. But at some point, I learned that heavy means that you're unattractive. And that's not true. It's not true. There's beautiful, larger, plus size women everywhere. Everywhere. There's more of us than there is of the skinny people. So why can't we rock any outfit that we want to, right? Wear the colors that you want to wear. Try out the clothes that you've maybe thought, I could never wear that. If it makes you feel lovely and beautiful, wear it. Rock your outfits. Invest in yourself. Find some cute clothes that you can switch out a couple times and just practice it. Now, I have to tell you that I did buy some leggings. I'm not a leggings girl at all, not a leggings girl. But they're black. I did get black ones. I'm going to push myself one of these days and get into some bigger sizes, or not bigger sizes, different colors. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Mary. We didn't ask for this and it's not our fault. That's huge. That takes all the guilt away, right? Absolutely. But we can still love ourselves where we're at. And we can still celebrate our bodies where we're at. And we can still look beautiful and we can have confidence. And so I'm just looking forward to growing with all of you and having these discussions and just seeing where it all leads us. And I think it's going to lead us to a good place. I think it's going to lead us to self-acceptance and celebration, because I don't want to just accept what the world is telling me about who I should be, because I was wonderfully and beautifully created, and so were you. And so I think that we need to celebrate it and show off our bumps and our curves and our bobbles. So I'm going to close with that. I wanted to let you know about our guest for next month. Have you heard of Curvy Girl Beth? She is phenomenal. And she and I are actually speaking together on the same panel for the conference. So it'll be fun to get to know her more. I've been following her on Instagram for some time, and she does not hold back. And she has a surprise for you, that she also offers consultation for how to dress for your body size. And so if you haven't found Curvy Girl Beth, look for her on Facebook and Instagram. And then next week we will have her in house with us and sharing. And I just know it's going to be a great time. So I'm very grateful that you hung in with me. This was kind of a spur of moment little chat with you. And like I said, let's just keep our first guest speaker in your thoughts, and hopefully everything is okay. And I wanted to remind you one more time about the conference, and you should by now seen the link for it in the comments as well in the chat. And I look forward to seeing you. And to all my Lippy sisters out there, I just want to let you know that you are loved and you are valued and you're so treasured. Thanks. Talk to you next week.